nearly 90% of the Roman population lived in poverty. And once they nearly brought the entire Roman government to its knees, they had no armies, no money, no titles. Yet one day, the poor of Rome walked out, and the Republic nearly collapsed. This isn't just a story of emperors and generals. This is the moment the common people fought back. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't just marble columns and golden laurel crowns. It was crowded tenement housing, backbreaking taxes, and empty stomachs that nearly crumbled under the weight of its own injustice. While senators debated and generals paraded, the real engine of Rome, its working class, was starving, and when the suffering became too much to bear, the plebeians, the poor, the workers, the voiceless, rose up and rewrote history. They said, enough. By the 5th century BC, Rome was a tale of two cities. The patricians, wealthy aristocrats, passed laws favoring themselves, ignoring the hungry masses. They owned the land, the laws, and the Senate. The plebeians, they had nothing. Life for the average Roman was brutal. The plebeians, farmers, laborers, and tradespeople, made up the majority of the population, yet had almost no political power. They fought in Rome's wars, built her temples, tilled her fields, and still, they couldn't marry patricians. They couldn't hold office. High taxes crushed the working class. Many plebs were forced to sell their land, or worse themselves, into debt slavery. Their homes crumbled while the elite threw feasts. Grain prices rose, wages dropped, and their cries were silenced by the Senate's marble walls. The laws were made for the elite, by the elite. Representation? Non-existent. But Rome forgot a dangerous truth. When you silence the many stopped listening to the few, and when grain shortages hit and prices soared, something snapped. It wasn't a riot. It wasn't a war. The plebeians, exhausted and enraged, walked out, literally. In 494 BC, thousands of plebeians packed their belongings and left the city. No workers, no bakers, no blacksmiths, no soldiers, no economy. In what became known as the First Secession of the Plebs, tens of thousands of poor citizens marched out of the city to the Sacred Mount and refused to return until change was made. They weren't demanding riches, just dignity. No more debt slavery, no more laws they couldn't challenge, no more being ignored. The patricians panicked. The Senate was stunned. Rome was paralyzed. It couldn't function. The plebs had no weapons, but they held all the leverage. They didn't need a battle. They had unity. And for the first time, the patricians felt powerless. A key figure emerged. Lucius Sicinius Velutus, a leader of the plebeians who gave them a voice and direction. Under his guidance, they negotiated, not begged, for their rights. What came next changed Roman politics forever. Faced with the total collapse of civic life, the Roman Senate had no choice. The patricians sent envoys, negotiations began, and from this act of peaceful resistance, a revolution emerged. They agreed to a groundbreaking concession: the creation of the Tribune of the Plebs, an official political office chosen by plebeians for plebeians, a political shield for the people. Tribunes had one extraordinary power: the veto. One word, and they could strike down any law that harmed the plebs. Lucius Sicinius and other plebeian leaders became legends, and the message was clear: you don't need a sword to force change, you need unity and the courage to walk away. The First Secession changed the balance of power in Rome forever. It marked the beginning of the struggle of the orders, a centuries-long fight for equality, sparked by the bravery of the forgotten many. And all of it started with a walkout, with the poor saying, "We matter." What do you think? Could ordinary people still shift the balance of power today? What would happen if something like this happened today? Could the unheard still shake the system? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because history doesn't belong to emperors or dictators. It belongs to those who dared to rise.